Hello students. In our last session we have started with demand. I have also explained to you the law of demand and how we can draw a individual demand curve with the help of individual demand schedule. We have also learned about the exception to the law of demand and when there is movement along the same demand curve and when there is shifting of demand curve. Now in today's session we are going to start with a very important part, that is elasticity of demand. What do you mean by the term elasticity? See, as per law of demand, if the price of any product increases, the demand for that product will fall down, and when the price falls, the demand for that product will rise up. Okay, now up to this we did last day, but now in elasticity we will learn if there is any increase in price, the demand of that product will fall down, but how much? Okay, that quantitative measurement of changes in quantity demanded we will learn now with the help of elasticity. Now see, have you seen rubber band? That means which we are saying as garter. Okay, so this rubber bands are elastic because if you stretch that rubber band it will be stretched. Okay, and if you release it, it will again come to its earlier shape. Okay, so like that demand is also elastic. If there is any change in price, demand for that or quantity demanded for that product will change. But with the help of elasticity we will measure now if there is 1% change in price of any product, how much will be the change in its quantity demanded. Okay, now look here, elasticity of demand measures the amount of change. This amount we are measuring with the help of elasticity. Okay, so amount of change in quantity demanded due to change in its price, change in the price of other related products, and change in income of consumers or customers. Okay, see, this elasticity of demand are of three types. First one is called as price elasticity of demand, second one is called as income elasticity of demand, and third one is called as cross elasticity of demand. So what is the meaning of price elasticity of demand? Price elasticity of demand means if the price of any product increases by 1%, its demand will decrease by how much? What will be the percentage of decrease in its quantity demanded? That is price elasticity. Income elasticity means if the income of consumer increases by 1%, how much will be the change in the demand of that product? Okay, if that means income increases means demand will increase, so how much will be that increase in demand of any product? Okay, what is cross elasticity? Cross elasticity means price of that product is remain unchanged, but if the price of the substitute goods changes, like I have given the example of tea and coffee earlier, say we are considering cross elasticity for tea and coffee. Say keeping the price of tea constant, if the price of coffee increases by 1%, the demand for tea will also affected. Okay, also will be affected. Okay, but how much? If the price of coffee increases by 1%, how much will be the increase in demand for coffee? Okay, because you know, if the price of coffee increases, the demand for tea will increase. Okay, because the coffee taker will shift to tea, that means demand for tea will increase, but how much? Similarly, if the price of coffee falls down, keeping the price of tea constant, how much will be the change in the demand for tea? Okay, so that means this quantitative, how much measurement, this quantitative measurement we are doing with the help of elasticity of demand. Okay, in your syllabus you have only price elasticity of demand, so we will now concentrate on price elasticity. See, price elasticity of demand. The price elasticity of demand is a measure of the percentage change in demand for 1% change in its price, okay. So what that means, percentage change in demand or quantity demanded for 1% change in its price, okay. So price elasticity of demand, which we are notifying with EP. This is a very important notification. E for elasticity and P for price. Okay. So price elasticity of demand, EP, or own price elasticity of demand can be expressed as, see how we are expressing the same. EP means elasticity and P for price. EP is equal to minus. Why we are using this minus sign before? I will explain you. Okay. Percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. As just now I said that through price elasticity of demand we are finding out what? If there is 1% change in price, how much will be the change in quantity demanded? How much will be the percentage change in quantity demanded? So we are depicting it with the help of this formula. EP means price elasticity of demand equals to minus sign percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Okay. Since demand and price usually move in opposite direction, this ratio is always, that means this usually negative, not always, usually negative. Okay, because this two moves in opposite direction, that you know very well, as we did in law of demand. If price increases by 1%, demand will fall down. Okay, but how many? What will be the percentage of change? That we will learn with the help of elasticity. Okay, that means this change in price and change in quantity demanded moves in opposite direction. That's why this result will always come in negative. Okay, but in order to make our result positive, we have written one minus sign before the formula. Okay, so in order to make the EP result, means price elasticity of demand result, positive, we are using a minus sign before the formula. Otherwise, if you won't use this minus sign here, then this part will always come as negative. Okay, as these two are negatively related. Okay, so to make the value of ratio positive, we put a minus sign before the ratio. Okay, now we will now consider a very good example, okay, to elaborate the same. See, I'm just depicting it. See, now as just now I have written the formula, EP is equal to minus percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Now, in order to denote any change in mathematical term, we use a sign called as delta. This is the delta sign. Okay, see what I have written. Suppose that we denote the quantity demanded by Q. Quantity demanded we are denoting by Q. Change in this quantity by delta Q. Okay, this is just any change we are depicting by delta, so delta Q. Then the percentage change in demand will be how much? Percentage change in demand will be change in quantity demanded divided by this quantity demanded into 100. Okay, see delta Q by Q into 100. Done. Similarly, percentage change in price will be depicted by delta P by P into 100. Okay, where delta P is change in price and P means normal price into 100. Okay, to find out percentage. Hence, the price elasticity of demand is written as, see how we are writing it. We can write it like this. See, EP is equal to minus, this is percentage change in, this is percentage, see, percentage change in quantity demanded So, and in the denominator, percentage change in price. So we are writing like this: delta Q by Q into 100 and divided by delta P by P into 100. 100 we have cancelled out. Okay, 100 we have cancelled out. So we have written like this: delta Q by Q divided by delta P by P. Okay, now I am just doing the here instead of this division sign I am putting multiplication sign. So when we are putting multiplication sign, this will be altered. That means we can write delta Q by delta P into this P will again go to numerator and Q will come to denominator. So here see, into P by Q. So now this is called as the formula for finding out EP, means price elasticity of demand. See where, look at the notification where P is equal to original price of the commodity. This P is equal to original price of the commodity. Q is equal to original quantity, quantity demanded of that commodity, this Q. Okay, delta P means change in price of the said commodity, and delta Q means change in quantity demanded of the said commodity. Okay, so this is this expression, or you can say this formula we are using to find out EP, means price elasticity of demand of any product. Now I am elaborating it with the help of a very, very simple example. Now look at the example. See, for example, suppose that the price of a pen increases from rupees 5 to rupees 10. You know, when the price of any product will increase, what will be its effect on demand? The demand will fall down. Okay, see, suppose that price of a pen increases from rupees 5 to rupees 10. As a result, the demand for the pen falls from 8 unit to 5 unit, say for a particular individual. Okay, as price increases, the demand has fallen down. Now you have to find out EP by using this formula. Okay, how we are finding out? See, so EP is equal to this change in quantity. Change in quantity is what? New quantity minus old quantity. See, 5 is the new quantity minus old quantity is 8, divided by change in price means what? Change in price means new price minus old price. New price is 10 and old price is 5. See, divided by new price 10 minus 5 into, this is original price. Original price was 5. Original quantity was 8. See, into 5 by 8. So it's coming to how much? Solution is coming to 3 by 8. Okay, 3 by 8, you can say, 3 by 8 is lesser than 1. Yes or no? Yes, 3 by 8 is lesser than 1. That means our EP value, price elasticity of demand, means EP value is lesser than 1. So what does it signify? If EP is equal to EP is lesser than 1, what does it implies? If EP less than 1, then percentage change in quantity demanded is less than percentage change in price. Means if price of any product is changing by 1%, the change in demand will be less than 1%. This situation is known as relatively inelastic demand. Inelastic. What is the meaning of the term inelastic? Means price change is not affecting the demand very much. Okay. If there is 1% change in price, demand is changing but less than 1%. This is happening for all essential goods of life, like say rice. If there is a 1% increase in price of rice, what you will do? Whether you will stop taking rice? Definitely not. What you will do? You can reduce your rice consumption a bit, but you cannot stop taking rice. Okay, so rice is our essential product. So for this product, the price is relatively inelastic. Means if there is 1% increase in price of rice, demand will fall, but it will be less than 1%. Okay. Similarly, if you consider a very small thing, that is salt. Can you take your food without salt? Definitely not. So if there is 1% increase in the price of salt, whether you can stop taking salt? No. You can little bit reduce the consumption. That means here also, in case of salt also, your price elasticity of demand is less than 1. Means if there is 1% increase in the price of salt, demand for salt will fall, but it will be less than 1%. Okay. So that's why it's called as relatively inelastic. Inelastic means moving less. Okay. That means price change is not affecting the demand of the product very much. Okay, it's called as relatively inelastic demand. Come to next example of the same type. Okay, see. Now, if the price of a pen falls, now it is falling. Earlier it is increasing. Okay, now it is falling. If the price of a pen falls from rupees 10 to rupees 5, and as a result, definitely if the price falls, then the demand will rise out. Okay, the demand will rise up. See, the quantity demanded increases from 5 unit to 8 unit. So EP is equal to, now we are finding out EP. Okay, so EP, what's the formula? This is the formula. Change in quantity divided by change in price into original price divided by original quantity. So change in quantity means, see, change in quantity means here the new quantity minus old quantity. So new quantity 8, old quantity 5. So 8 minus 5. And in the denominator, new price divided minus old price. So new price 5 minus old price 10. Okay. See. So here in the numerator 8 minus 5, in the denominator 5 minus 10. See, result will be negative. So in order to make it positive, we are using a minus sign before the formula. Okay. Into original price 10, original quantity 5. See, original quantity 5. So the result is now coming, if you solve this part, the result is now coming 6 by 5. You know 6 by 5 is always greater than 1. So we can say here EP is equal to greater than 1. Okay. Now what this implies? What is the meaning of EP greater than 1? EP greater than 1 means if the percentage change in quantity demand, that means percentage change of in quantity demanded is more than percentage change in its price. Means, see, percentage change in quantity demanded is more than percentage fall in price. Means if the if the price of the product changed by 1%, demand for the product or quantity demanded for the product will change more than 1%. Okay, and this situation is called as relatively elastic demand. Means here 1% change in price is affecting the demand very much. Means if there is 1% change in price, demand is changing more than 1%. Example are all luxurious goods. Luxurious goods means, suppose it's a summer season. Summer season, you know, very hot, and we always wants to have a AC in our room. Okay. Now, say if you heard a news that price of AC fallen down by 1%, what will happen to its demand? Customer, they will go for purchasing his AC more, as there is any fall in demand. Okay. So for all these luxurious goods, if there is 1% reduction in the price, the demand will increase, but more than 1%. Okay. Similar thing, suppose you want to purchase a car. As we are middle class people, we will wait till the season of reduction will come. Okay, you can see that there are many offers comes before many festivals like Holi Bonanza, Diwali Bonanza, okay, where you will get reduction in the price of car. Okay, so in case of this bonanzas or this festival times, if there is 1% change, 1% fall in the price of cars, the demand for car will increase more than 1%. So this is called as relatively elastic demand, and this happens for all luxurious goods like AC, like cars. Okay, so these are the luxurious goods. So for this, price is relatively elastic. Okay, if there is 1% fall in price of the goods, the demand will increase more than 1%. Okay, next is measurement of price elasticity of demand. Okay, now there are two measurement of price elasticity of demand. One is arc elasticity of demand, another is called as point elasticity of demand. Okay, now let us start with the first one, arc elasticity. Measurement of price elasticity, arc elasticity of demand. The demand curve shown in the figure below, see, this is the demand curve, okay, shown in the figure below. There are 2 points A and B on the curve. When the price elasticity between 2 points A and B is to be determined, the question arises which price and quantity should be considered as base or original condition. See here, you can see two combination of price and quantity given. One is 0 P1, when the price is 0 P1, our demand is 0 Q1, and when the price is again 0 P2, the demand is 0 Q2, quantity demanded is 0 Q2. Okay, so two combination of price and quantity demanded given over here, and we are getting 2 points in this particular arc. Okay, that means in this demand curve, like a arc, we are getting 2 points A and B. Now, which point to be considered as base? In order to, that means solve this confusion, what, see, A and B, the question arises which price and quantity should be considered as base or original condition. Calculation of elasticity taking A as base would not give the same result by taking B as base. In order to avoid this confusion, we generally take average of two price and quantities denoted by point A and B. Okay, this average we are taking to avoid this confusion. The arc elasticity is found by the following way. Okay, see how we are finding out. This is the formula. EP means price elasticity of demand, as I said earlier. EP is equal to change in demand divided by average demand divided by change in price divided by average price. You know, here if you look at this formula, earlier we have done of EP. Here the formula is change in demand divided by change in price into original price divided by original quantity. Okay, see the here, instead of this original price and original quantity, we are applying what? Average price and average quantity. Okay, as there are 2 points lies in between. Okay, that's why we are doing the average, and this change in quantity and change in price will remain same. See here, change in quantity demanded, and this is, see, this is here, this is change in price, and this is instead of original demand, original quantity demanded, we are taking average demand, and instead of original price we are taking average price. Okay, so the formula now we can elaborate like this: delta Q, change in quantity, delta Q divided by average. Average means two quantity demanded are given here, Q1 and Q2. So Q1 plus Q2 divided by 2 will be the average. Okay, and here divided by change in price means delta P. Average price means P1 plus P2 divided by 2. Okay, now we are, instead of division, we are just doing the multiplication, putting the multiplication sign and just opposing it. Okay, see, delta Q divided by, see, this 2 will be cancelled out. Okay, so divided by Q1 plus Q2 into this P1 plus P2 will go to numerator, as we have put multiplication sign here. So P1 plus P2 and this delta P will come to the denominator. So delta P has come to the denominator. Okay, now as I said, this delta Q means change in quantity and delta P means change in price. Okay, now instead of this we can put what? We can put this Q1 minus Q2 will be the change in price, change in quantity, and this P1 minus P2 will be change in price. Okay, see, look at this next. Okay, see, delta Q divided by delta P, this part we have taken to the first, okay, into P1 plus P2 divided by Q1 plus Q2, we can always write. Okay, now instead of delta Q we have just now I said delta Q means change in quantity, means we can write Q1 minus Q2. See, Q1 minus Q2, and here it will be P1 minus P2. Okay, I have written like this. Okay, into this portion will remain same. Okay, P1 plus P2 in the numerator and Q1 plus Q2 in the denominator. Now see, this Q part I have taken to the first. Okay, so Q1 minus Q2 divided by Q1 plus Q2 into P1 plus P2 divided by P1 minus P2. Now here the figures are given for P1, P2, Q1, Q2. Okay, what's the figure? P1 means price. P1, okay, is given as 1500 and P2 is given as 1200. Q1 means here Q1 is given as 400 and Q2 as 600. Okay, so we are not taking any particular price or quantity as base. Okay, so how we are computing it? By doing this average. Okay, see, putting these figures as it is given in this particular formula, we are finding out EP. Okay, see, here P1, first one is Q1 is 400, so 400 minus Q2 600. In the denominator, Q1 plus Q2 means 400 plus 600 into, here it is P1 plus P2 means 1500 plus 1200 divided by P1 minus P2 means 1500 divided by 1200. Okay, done. See, now it will be, this part will be 200 divided by 1000 into 2700 divided by 300. So it's coming to how much? It's coming to minus 0.8. See, minus we haven't put here, but we have to put a minus here. Okay, because this result will always come as negative. Okay, so see, this is because this is minus. Yes or no? This part will be minus. So this is 200 will be minus divided by 1000 into it. So the result is 0.8. So in order to make it positive, we are using a minus sign before the formula. So now dropping the negative sign, as we have dropped it because EP cannot be negative. So we before the formula we are always using a minus sign, which I have not written here. Okay, so you have to write a minus sign before the formula. So minus will be positive. Okay, so you can write like this, dropping the negative sign. So EP value is coming to 0.8. Okay, so this is how you can find out the arc elasticity of demand. Okay, as in arc you are getting 2 points, so by doing the averages of those 2 points we can find out the arc elasticity of demand. Now let us learn how to find out point elasticity. Measurement of price elasticity, point elasticity, and that is geometrical method. Okay, how we are doing so, I'm just elaborating it. See, there is a formula to find out point elasticity. Okay, the formula is what? EP is equal to, in case of this, see, EP is equal to lower segment of the tangent from point E, means lower segment divided by upper segment. Okay, the formula is lower segment of the tangent from point E and divided by upper segment of the tangent from point E. So you can say like this, EP is equal to, in case of point elasticity of demand, EP is equal to lower segment divided by upper segment. Now how we have derived this particular formula for point elasticity, let us discuss it first. Okay, see, this is the derivation part. Here we want to determine the price elasticity of demand at any point on the demand curve. That is, we consider a very small change in quantity demanded due to small change in its price. See, earlier we have denoted change in quantity demanded and change in price with delta. But here, as we are considering very small change, instead of delta we are using small d. You know, for very small change, in order to denote very small change, instead of delta we are using small d as notification. Okay, that you know, I think. Okay, now we consider a very small change in quantity demanded due to small change in its price. In this case, price elasticity formula can be expressed like this. See, EP formula, you know, EP formula is equal to delta Q by delta P into capital P, means original price divided by original quantity. So instead of delta, we are notifying small, very small change with small d. So I have written what? Small d Q divided by, again, small d P into capital P by capital Q. Okay, this is very small change, and we have, in order to make it positive, we have written a minus sign before the formula. Okay, so see, this is dq divided by dp into p by q. Now here, next, in the next line, just we have all that means put it in the denominator. Okay, see, we can write like this, 1 by dp divided by dq. We have just altered it. Okay, so 1 by dp divided by dq into p by q. Okay, this dp by dq, you know it, I think you know that this dp means this is small change in price and dq is small changes in quantity demanded. So this dp by dq is nothing but the slope. Okay, this is called as the slope in the geometrical term. Okay, you know, so here dp denotes very small change in price and dq denotes very small change in quantity demanded, and dp by dq is the slope of demand curve at any point. This is the slope of demand curve. This dp by dq is the slope of demand curve at any point. Okay, now see, this is what this is the this is the diagram. Okay, here this is the price axis, this is quantity demanded axis. Here we have taken a like tangent. Okay, we have drawn a tangent, and this is the demand curve dd. Okay, and this tangent tt dash cut the demand curve at point E. Okay, so this is the point where your demand curve is cutting the tangent or meeting the tangent. Okay, here if you consider this point E, our price is how much? Our price is 0A and demand quantity demanded is 0B. Okay, now look at the explanation. Let us consider a non-linear demand curve. As I said, non-linear demand curve dd in the above figure. We want to find out the price elasticity of demand at point E. Okay, on this demand curve. Okay, the tangent to the demand curve at point E is t dash, definitely. Thus, the absolute slope of the demand curve at point E, absolute slope of the demand curve at point E is like this. You know, just now I said your absolute slope is dp divided by dq. Now this dp dq we can write like this. 0t divided by 0t dash. See, 0t divided by 0t dash. Okay, now equals to, see here, this triangle, that means this 0t dash and this EBT dash, these two are what? These two are similar triangle, that means the features will be same. So we can write like this: 0t divided by 0t dash is equal to EB divided by BT dash. Okay, we can write like this because these two are having similar features. Okay, so is E, that means these two are parallel. Okay, so we can write EB divided by EB dash. Okay, see here, P is equal to price. You know, this is the price axis. Okay, so price is 0A is the price. Okay, so 0A equals to this EB. So we can write P is equal to 0A is equal to EB, and Q is equal to what? Q is equal to 0B. Okay, now I'm putting this here. See, as we have written earlier, this EP formula here, this one, okay, with the slope. See, I'm just putting now with in this particular formula. See, minus 1 by dp by dq into p by q. Okay, instead of this dp by dq, I can put this one EB, as just now I said, EB by BT. Okay, see, 1 by EB by BT into original price EB, original quantity 0B. Okay, so I have written like this. Okay, now here EB by BT, this one should be less than 0, Okay, next one is what? So here I have just altered it. Okay, so this BT I have taken to the numerator and EB to the BT dash to the numerator and EB to the denominator into the part. This part will remain same. So EB will be cancelled out. So it is coming to BT dash divided by OB. Okay, so BT dash divided by OB. Let me see. This is BT dash divided by OB. So as I said, these two are similar triangle, so features will be same. Okay, so see here, BT dash divided by OB means we can write what? ET dash divided by, see here, see ET dash divided by TE. See here, ET dash divided by TE. Okay, because these are similar triangles. Okay, see here I have written what? BT dash, as we have derived, BT dash divided by OB is equal to ET dash divided by ET. BT dash divided by OB is equal to ET dash divided by ET or TE. Okay, as these are similar triangles, so features will be same. So this ET dash, if you see this point E, this ET dash is nothing but the lower segment. What is the meaning of the term segment? Segment means lower part of point E. This is point E. If anybody asks you what is the lower part of point E, you will always say ET dash. So this is the lower part. And what is the upper part of point E? That should be TE or ET, whatever. Okay, so upper part. So here you have derived the formula ET dash divided by TE. That means ET dash divided by TE, that means lower segment of the tangent from point E divided by upper segment of the tangent from point E. Okay, so this the formula we have derived as lower segment divided by upper segment. This is the formula for EP, for point elasticity of demand. Okay, now see how we are measuring this point elasticity at different point in a demand curve, and you can see ultimately that means the elasticity will be measured for the whole demand curve. Okay, how we are doing so, I'm just explaining to you. For the sake of simplicity, let us take a straight line or a linear demand curve, that is KL. See, this is KL, a straight line demand curve. For our simplicity, we have taken a straight line demand curve in the figure shown below. Elasticity of at different points of demand curve is shown below by using the above formula. Okay, just now we have derived the formula for point elasticity of demand, that is EP is equal to the lower segment by upper segment. Okay, so how we are measuring the demand at different point on this demand curve by using the formula, now I will explain the same. See, the formula for EP, as we have derived lower segment by upper segment. Okay, let us first consider this point, that means the topmost point, point K. What happens at this point? Lower segment of point K is what? This is lower segment, means the lower part, as I said. So point K is the topmost point, so lower part will be the whole curve. That means KL is the lower segment for point K. See, at point K, EP is equal to KL, and upper segment of point K is nothing because the K point is the starting point, so there is no upper part, so it will be 0. So 0 at the, that means in the denominator, is nothing but it tends to infinity. So here in case of point K, EP tends to infinity. This position is called as what? This is called as completely elastic demand. Okay, or you can say perfectly elastic demand. What does it mean? It means if there is 1% change in price, demand will change to infinity. This is not a realistic situation. Okay, and this doesn't happen in real life. Okay, so this is not a realistic situation. Now come to next point, point S. See, next point is point S here. So now again apply the same formula. Point S, the lower segment by upper segment. Lower segment of point S will be SL, and upper segment will be, upper part will be SK or KS. See here, SL by KS, and you know SL is more than KS. That means we can say our numerator is more, denominator is less. So numerator is more means the result should be greater than 1. Okay, see, SL is greater than KS, that means numerator is more, so result should be greater than 1. And this greater than, EP is greater than 1, this case we have done earlier, which is called as what? Relatively elastic demand. Just now I am just showing to you, this is relatively elastic demand, as I said. See, this demand is more, and this is called as relatively elastic demand, where EP is greater than 1. Okay, relatively elastic demand means, I told you, this is happen actually for what? For the luxurious products. Okay, if price change by 1%, demand will change more than 1%. So this is called as relatively elastic demand. Okay, now if you consider here a point after S but before T here. Okay, here before T, if I consider any point before T, lower segment will be more than upper segment. Okay, that means the result will always be EP greater than 1. Okay, that means any point before this midpoint T, if you consider any point in between K and point T, this whole result will be EP greater than 1. So this any point from point after point K before point T, the result is same, EP greater than 1. That means this part is relatively elastic demand part. Okay, where if there is 1% change in price, demand will change more than 1%. Okay, done. Now come to point T, which is called as the midpoint. Okay, at point T, what happens? Lower segment is TL and upper segment is KT. Both are same. See, T is the midpoint of KL. Okay, that means here your TL and KT both are equal. That means the result of PP will be equals to 1. This particular type of demand is called as unitary elastic demand. Okay, unitary elastic, as the result is coming equals to 1, so it is called as unit elastic demand or unitary elastic demand. What does it mean? It means if there is 1% change in price, the demand will also change by 1%. Okay, so this situation completely depends on market. Okay, completely depends on market. So this implies price and demand moving, that means with the same percentage. If there is 1% increase in the price, the demand will fall similarly by 1%. Okay, this is called as unitary elastic demand. So that happens in case of point T only. Point T only. Next, come to next point, point R. At this point R, what is the lower segment? RL, and upper segment is KR. So you can see RL is less than KR. That means your numerator is less. When your numerator is less than your denominator, it is called as lesser than 1 situation. See, RL is less than KR. So this is lesser than 1 situation, and when EP lesser than 1, I told you earlier, it is called as relatively inelastic demand. Relatively inelastic demand means if price change by 1%, demand will change, but it will be less than 1%. This happens for all necessary goods like rice, wheat, sugar, salt, etc. Okay, for all this kind of goods, if price increases by 1%, demand will fall, but it will be less than 1%. Okay, that's why it is called as relatively inelastic. Means price is not affecting the demand much. Okay, so this is relatively inelastic. Now again, if you consider any point after T, the same result, means your lower segment will be less and upper segment will be more. Okay, and any point before the point L, the result will be same. That means lower segment will be less and upper segment will be more. Okay, that means we can say means after point T, before point L, the result is all same. That is EP less than 1. Means this portion is called as relatively inelastic demand portion. Now come to final point, point L. At this point, point L, EP is equal to what? Lower segment of point L is nothing because it is the last point. So lower segment will be 0 and your upper segment will be the whole curve KL. See, I have written KL. So 0 in the numerator means result will be 0. EP is equal to 0. This situation is called as completely inelastic demand. This was relatively inelastic and this one completely inelastic demand. Suppose from tomorrow you have to purchase water. Okay, that means water will not free for you from tomorrow. Okay, that means you always have to pay for water. If this kind of rule has been applicable in our country, we have to do it, because without water we cannot survive. So if we need to pay for water, we have to pay. We have to curtail all other expenses and we have to purchase water first, because water is our indispensable goods. So for any kind of indispensable goods, it is completely inelastic. Means if there is any change in price, demand will not change at all. Okay, that's why it's called as completely inelastic. Okay, similarly for oxygen, suppose one of our family member is sick and that person needs oxygen immediately. we are going to purchase oxygen at any cost. Okay, because at that moment our prime that means our priority is to give oxygen to that patient. Okay, to our that means to our relative. Okay, not to save money. So here this oxygen is now the indispensable things of life. Okay, so if we have to purchase it by paying money, we have to do it. Okay, we don't have any other way out. Okay, so for this kind of things, our demand is relatively inelastic. Sorry, not relatively, completely inelastic. Okay, that's why for indispensable goods, if price change by 1%, there is no change in demand. If price increases by 1%, demand will remain same. There is no effect in demand. That's why it is called as completely inelastic situation. EP is equal to 0. Okay, now I am just depicting it. See here, the same thing I have explained here. So thus we can say that elasticity of a demand curve is different at different point. Okay, different point, and it decreases as we move from top to bottom along the demand curve. Otherwise, see, as we are moving from top to bottom, it is decreases. Okay, the elasticity is lesser than 1, then it is 0. Okay, so that means it is decreasing, and as we are moving out, it is increasing. Okay, so see, by measuring elasticity on this 5 points on a demand curve, see, we have covered the point elasticity of demand at almost all points on the demand curve. Okay, so by considering only 5 points on the demand curve, we can measure the whole demand curve, that means point elasticity of demand in this whole demand curve. Okay, now let me show you how the demand curve will look like in this 5 situations. Okay, then in this 5 different situations, look here, see, different degree of price elasticity of demand. See, there are 5 possible degrees of price elasticity of demand. Okay, these are stated below. First one is relatively elastic demand. Relatively elastic, just now I said, relatively elastic demand situation is like this. When original price is 0 P0, our original demand is 0 Q0. As the price falls, relatively elastic means if price falls by 1%, demand will increase more than 1%. See, as price falls from 0 P0 to 0 P1, see, the demand has rised up from 0 Q2 to 0 Q1. Sorry, 0 Q0 to 0 Q1. That means this fall in price is less, but change in demand is more. That's why it is called as relatively elastic demand. See, if the rate of change in quantity demanded for a commodity is greater than the rate of change in its price, the price elasticity of demand for this commodity will be relatively elastic in nature. See, rate of change in quantity demanded is greater. See, rate of change is greater, quantity demanded is greater than rate of change in its price. Okay, this is called as relatively elastic in nature. Generally, demand for luxurious item is relatively elastic in nature, as I said. Okay, if there is 1% decrease in the price of AC during summer, the demand will increase more than 1%. Okay, so for luxurious goods, this is happening. Okay, so the same thing. See, here, if the price of costly gems falls by 10%, the demand may increase by 20%. Okay, so this is called as relatively elastic demand situation. Here, you can find a demand curve like this. Okay, see, here the demand curve is relatively flat. This is a flat demand curve. Okay, DD dash is the demand, sorry, DD is the demand curve which is relatively flat. Here EP is equal to, EP is greater than 1. Next situation. See, represent a relatively flatter. Okay, flatter and represent relatively elastic demand curve. Okay, now come to the next situation. Next situation is what? Relatively inelastic demand. Okay, relatively inelastic means what? See, say when the price is 0p0, demand is 0q0. As the price fallen from p0 to p1, now the price is 0p1. Okay, but demand has rised up. Okay, but not very much. Okay, it has rise up very little from q0 to q1. So this is called as what? Relatively inelastic demand. If the rate of change in quantity demanded for a commodity is less than rate of change in its price. As I said, if the price change by 1%, demand will change, but less than 1%. That's why it's called as inelastic. The demand for the commodity is considered to be price inelastic or relatively inelastic in nature, particularly for demand for necessity items or mass consumption goods like tea, sugar, salt, rice, etc. become relatively inelastic in nature. Okay, in this case, if the price of necessity goods increases by 10%, demand may fall by only 2%. Okay, that's why EP is less than 1. Okay, as I said, if price change by 10%, price increases by 10%, demand may fall, but only by 2%. Okay, that's why it is called as relatively inelastic. And here you will find a steeper demand curve. See, a steeper one means it is more steeper. This DD dash is a more steeper demand curve. Okay, see, relatively steeper demand curve you will find in case of inelastic demand. Next comes unitary price elastic demand. See, as I said, unitary means if price change by 1%, demand will also change by 1%. See, if the rate of change in quantity demanded is just equal to the rate of change in price of a product, it is said to be unit elastic demand, okay, or unitary elastic. In this situation, EP is equal to 1. Okay, see here, when the price is 0p0, the demand is 0q0. As the price fallen from p0 to p1, the demand rised up from q0 to q1. Okay, but here the fall in price and the increase in demand both are same. Okay, both are same. See here, delta q by q is equal to delta p by p. Rate of change in quantity demanded equals to rate of change in its price. Okay, so that we have seen here. So here the shape of demand curve is like a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, see here, the demand curve takes the shape of a rectangular hyperbola. So this kind of MCQ may come that when the demand curves take the shape of a rectangular hyperbola in case of unitary demand. Okay, unitary elastic demand or unit elastic demand, the demand curve takes the shape of a rectangular hyperbola. Okay, so here change in price and change in demand are equal. Okay, so this is called as unit elastic. Next is completely inelastic demand. Completely inelastic, see, if there is no change in quantity demanded due to change in its price, then the demand for the product is said to be perfectly inelastic in nature or completely inelastic in nature, and here EP is equal to 0. See here, here you will see a demand curve which is just like a vertical straight line. Okay, see, if the price here, say price is here 0p0, demand is not changing. If it is increases further to p1, demand is not changing. If it is further increases to p2, demand is same. That means any increase or decrease in price is not affecting the demand. I told you this happens for all indispensable goods of life like oxygen, blood, then life-saving drugs or medicines. Okay, for all these things, water. Okay, it is indispensable for our life, and for this it is completely inelastic, means completely immovable. Okay, so here the demand curve takes the shape of a vertical straight line. Okay, see, Here the demand curve is like a vertical straight line. Okay. Next, completely elastic demand. Completely elastic, this is I told you this is not a realistic situation. So here, if there is almost an indefinite change in quantity demanded due to an insignificant change in its price, okay, the demand for the commodity is considered to be that means indefinitely elastic. Okay, so this is called as what? Completely elastic demand, or you can say this is perfectly elastic demand. Here EP is equal to infinity. In this case, demand curve will take the shape of a horizontal straight line. Okay, see, any change in price, demand is moving to infinity. Okay, so this is not a realistic situation. This doesn't happen in reality. So here I have already shown you how to find out the arc elasticity of demand, the formula for arc elasticity and measurement for it, and also how to measure the point elasticity of demand and the demand curve shape in case of 5 situation of point elasticity. That is, first one is completely inelastic, second one is relatively inelastic, third one is unitary elastic, then relatively elastic, and fifth one is completely elastic. Okay, so these are the 5 situations, and how the demand curve looks like I have shown you. Thank you.